Shifting your paradigm, shifting your paradigm. The lady on the scene, Celine Salon. The Salon de Celine, the lady on the scene. You know what I mean? The lady on the scene, Celine Salon. Celine Salon. Celine Salon. Celine Salon. Celine Salon. The lady on the scene.
Hello and welcome to our second Celine Salon on our new YouTube channel. Hello to all our regular followers and to newcomers. And I just want to say thank you for everyone that supported last week's show. We had a huge response, over 500 views in like 3 days, which is great. But the most important thing, and I will stress this very clearly now, we want everybody to subscribe. That's it, just that little button below, subscribe, please. We have a brilliant lineup this evening and some old regulars that are, well, you're going to see them for all of their talent and their amazing writing. And I just want to say, isn't it funny? You know, we had such a big response to the Dreams theme that we're going to keep it going. We're going to do one more next week. And exciting news is we've got a collaboration with Malaysia and then a collaboration with South Africa. Chin chin, I say, ding dong. Nothing like a bit of Dutch courage. So, tonight we have the wonderful Tom Turner. We have Sarah Jane, our specialist Egyptologist, dreamologist, amazing lady. I can't wait for you to listen to what she has to say. We have Salon regular Heather Moulson. We've got Seki Lynch. We have Wendy Young. We've got Matt Francom, who's a newcomer. So I'm really looking forward to sharing his work with everyone tonight. And please do me a favour. Anyone you like, just add a comment. Thank you. Or even like, it's up to you. But most importantly, subscribe. We have Douglas Wilson and we have Mieko. So, without further ado, let's roll on with the show.
Celine Salon, Celine Salon, Celine Salon, the lady on the scene.
And so, for our very first act of Series 2 of Dreams, Celine Salon, our new YouTube channel. What's the magic word? Subscribe. All the way from Kent, please let me introduce the wonderfully talented Tom Turner.
Well, a little way back out in the wilderness that we'd like to call a town, I seem to find myself possessed by the sweetest evil I keep around. But the Guinness had run dry, you see, and all was left was a wrapper winning wine. And the dregs left for my cigarettes, and so I scrambled out into the night. Now I can't tell you how long it had been. You see, time's a funny thing. Be sure to read The Magic Mountain, it will fill you in. Now I was standing underneath the crying clouds in jeans without a top, and it seemed so strange to me, I only wore one sock. Now this is meant to be a funny song, but I warn you, it gets dark. So all that I shall say is beware the wolfkin's hark. Well, anyways, I must admit I was fully drenched. You see, whenever I know it's about to rain, I don't wear a coat. I stumbled on a little further to a valley, I recall. But I shan't lie to you that I got chased by 7 bulls. Moo! Well, as I fumbled my way through the dark, the bloodthirsty cows behind, I came across a lonely house built in 1899. The mooing got too much for me, so I hurled myself over their fence. And to my surprise, I see a glow glowing out in the west. Now I flew to the flames I see, as best I could with just one sock. And as I got a little closer, I fell, and I did take a knock. When I rose, the rain had stopped, and the clouds began to flock to a golden moon, giving way to gloom, and the night did seem to stop. When of all the things that could be out there, it really was quite strange. I'd upped and tripped on a small railway, no signs stood to claim. Now the beaten track got flooded by the dark and vanished into the night. One train went up and one train went down, so I tossed to shed some light. That was a coin. I tossed a coin to shed some light. Now the Queen said, "Set up you go," so I followed her advice. I went across a mini bridge and past an old campsite. All around me was frozen trees, stopped in time, and all I could see beneath dead pines was beady, blinking eyes. To my delight, the trees did thin, and I see shelter up ahead, a wooden shack sitting by the track, which I did step in. Now the floor was filled with leaves, and I could see nothing else. So I shut the door and began to snore and waited till morning would be light. But you see, morning never came for me. That shack was to be my fate, a solitary tomb for my faded state. Now when I awoke, it seemed the moon rained all across the land. It poured in through tiny holes and flooded in the door where it stands. Now fear, it seemed to grip me. I could hardly move my hands. Writings appeared of archaic tongue, and this is what I could understand. Beware the wolfkin. Make sure to watch the moon. Stay always to the track, and don't you dare leave this room. An icy sweat rolled down my back, candle lights began to appear. In every corner shadows grew to men, and they drew near. They wore only black, manifested by that awful dark, like apparitions with see-through skin, and they began to bark. We are the wolfkin, we've come to take your soul. There ain't no point in bargaining, it's you that chose this road. I've one thing I can say, I said, that might change your mind. Instead of blood and flesh to drink, I know something money can buy. Well now, my lovely people, at every night at 3, I wake up back there, my brother's 5 of us, you see. But they don't look for so's no more, I said that's all too drab. So every night we haunt the co-op and grab some beers and 12 packs of fags. So now, my lovely people, there's one more thing I shall ask. When you lock your doors tonight, keep your Guinness out the dark.
Tom Turner, thank you so much. It's so lovely to have you back at Celine Salon. And we're so looking forward to seeing more of you in future shows. Now, this is a new lady that I've recently got in touch with for my passion and love of Egyptology. And I was very honoured because she actually does special talks in dreams. So I thought how appropriate it would be to invite Sarah Janes to tell us all about her thoughts of dreams.
Hello, my name is Sarah Janes, and I am an independent researcher on the subject of sleep and dream culture. And I'm especially interested in how we might learn lessons from ancient texts and sources about sleeping and dreaming and use them to improve our own sleep and dream experience. We can see that dreams really fascinated ancient people all over the world. And I think one of the most interesting things about dreaming in ancient times is that in the dream realm, you're offered an opportunity often to communicate with the dead. And this could go some way to explain the very early religions that centered around a great ancestress figure or ancestor cults. And I think this ability to communicate with the deceased gave the idea to ancient people that dreaming was this portal to another dimension, to an underworld or an otherworld that they may also end up in once they die. The earliest purpose of intentional dreaming seems to be for divinatory or oracular purposes. So dreamers often thought they could find out information in dreams and foretell the future. And this makes sense if we consider that dreams were considered to exist in this other dimension or this other realm. In ancient Egypt and in many other cultures all around the world, there was an idea that mortal people could be visited by gods whilst they were in a dream. This really developed into an idea of people asking the gods to heal them and to perform miracles on them, which would often be activated in the dream state. The development of this concept really was perfected by the ancient Greeks and their temples to Asclepius. The cult of Asclepius, who was a dream healer god essentially, the son of the god Apollo, who was also a healer and a musician. Asclepians were the sleep temples where patients would visit to be healed by a divine dream in which the god Asclepius would visit them and provide a healing event that would actually lead to a complete reversal of any symptoms or any disease that they had. These sleep temples existed all over the ancient world and were seen to be effective for over 1,000 years. So I'm very interested in the real essence of what was occurring in these sleep temples. And I wonder if working with the dream state, and in particular the lucid dream state, whether that state of deep mind and body entanglement could activate a very powerful placebo or faith healing response to a dream in which a healing event occurs. Never have a memory foam mattress. They're toxic and they heat you up too much in the night and you won't have very good sleep or very good dreams. Try to reduce screen use as much as possible during the day because the light that comes out of screens stimulates your brain and makes your body think that it's time to be awake when actually you should be going to sleep, because your body's circadian rhythms are attuned to the phases of lightness and darkness as the sun rises and sets. So it's also very important that you get sunlight during the day. So make sure you go outside and soak up the rays of Aten. I'm drinking my dream tea, which is my very special dream tea recipe. And having a ritual like this of having some special sleep tea, especially of having a bath, because a bath helps to actually reduce your core temperature, and this helps you have a much more settled and relaxing night's sleep. So having a bath is a very, very good tip. In terms of dream content, I would recommend setting an intention for what you wish to dream about on any given night, and also reading novels, especially nice novels, not The Collector by John Fowles. Nice magical realism, happy, beautiful, adventurous, travel type novels are really good for dreaming because your brain, it becomes very imaginative and starts to imagine all of these scenes. And actually, neuroscientists have discovered that when you read a novel, your brain creates these special neural pathways that are associated with the imaginative realms that you've created during reading that book. So reading novels is one of my very top tips for great dreaming.
Sarah, thank you. That was so brilliant. Whoa! I'm going to take all your advice. Read a good novel. Put nice things into your head before you go to sleep. Okay, this poet and published poet, Heather Moulson. I don't really have to say much. I'm just going to hand it over. Heather Moulson.
Hello. Well, last night I had the strangest dream. I'll share it with you. I dreamt I was living in a comic strip. I had blonde hair and jeans. I went to ballet school and wore a straw bow tie. No terrifying second year smoking in the toilet. No adolescent spots. And I didn't have to wear navy knickers. Not a sanitary towel machine in sight. Beautifully drawn girls didn't have periods. Just adventures where the villain would tell a kid to clear off. But inevitably knew it was a fair cop. Dinner was a slap-up feast, not spam fritters. I didn't get shouted at in science. I was effortlessly top at everything. But there were no boys. They did not exist, so no one drew them in flawless ink. No dreamy sixth form prefects, the ones me and Julie coveted at lunchtime. Nor were there chips or pocket money, no top of the pops, no please sir. Tellies were only for the wicked and slovenly stepmother, another story altogether. Parents in my particular strip were kind and rich, but mostly absent, and it turned out you were adopted anyway. Only virtuous head girls were present, all Brownie members. I wasn't sorry to wake up. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to go and read some more adventure stories now. Thank you. Take care.
Heather, you always make me smile and laugh. I think you're so talented. I love her style as well. It's very different. Why don't you add a comment? But more importantly, there's that lovely button with subscribe. Press it. Also, share the show, share the link. It's up permanently. So even if you can't watch all of it this evening, you can go back, you can give it to family, friends, and it's great for the artists as well because they've got a bit of a show reel for maybe future gigs. And so it's all good in every way. Now, this lovely gentleman I met at our first ever venue, the Society Club, the best cocktail maker in Soho. Sadly, the Society Club has gone, but we're very fortunate to have the wonderful Seki Lynch.
The Feast. When I dream of you, all of you. I dream of a great table, a banquet in the forest. I dream of Xenia and of every guest playing host. A billion hands cooking favourite dishes, laced with laughter, pricked and peppered with spices, salted with tears, stock thickened with blood. And of course you're there too, as I knew you would be, eyes dizzy with love. The great banquet table is laid with porcelain jugs, fashioned as fish, mosaic plates of familiar patterns, cutlery which fits as if smithed for your own hand, napkins of linen. At a touch, we remember other lives. Usually so careful of my words, I dream of you and they pour from me. In hearing these, your own thoughts spill out. The banquet is our secret and our revealing of the secret. In being reunited, we acknowledge the pain of being apart. A moment of lucidity. I can't wait for you all to meet. Share stories, drugs, card games, jewellery. Already the wine is flowing. I slip out among the bustling, the dancing and the singing. I stand in the gardens of the forest by the waterfall, which is breathing in the silence of the moonlight. Far now from the gathering, I only hear the roar of water. In the water's meeting with itself, the sorbet of the party. Back at the feast, a furnace of mingling, flirting, hobnobbing. Essential metal is being formed. Each guest, alchemist and mineral, polished mirror and reflected gold. I return, and the night goes on. Finally we sit and feast, and begin to forget. We forget our shoe size and begin to lose our accents. When asked, we can't recall our favourite song. We forget our names and the names of our pets. We forget our self-consciousness and our scars. Empty and full, our laughter flows. We forget ourselves and clamber onto the table. The wine too flows, and the guests begin to embrace. We merge as fire meets fire. In reuniting, we realise we were never apart. A foot tips a candle, the tablecloth catches, and we hear the threads and the flames, a drunken inferno. And this is not a dream. We are awake, not dreaming. This is not a dream. We are awake, not sleeping. Life has been a dream. Time an inside joke between heartbeats. There is no light or dark. We have no need for these things here. There is no sound here. That is not how fire makes music. Life has been a dream, and we are unformed crystals ringing. We once again have no mouths and are singing, empty and full as flames.
Thank you so much, Seki Lynch. Fantastic. Ooh. Oh no. Ooh, hold on a minute. Hello, it's Sheila Blade, and I'm so glad they got rid of Celine again. They've stuck her back on the alien ship just to insert her with her third eye. Anyway, moving on swiftly, I dumped David Icke. He turned into a nightmare. I thought I was a conspiriologist, but yes, his conspiracies are more... Anyway, so I'm now dating Bigfoot after a wonderful weekend in Loch, where we did encounter the Loch Ness and decided to tango arm in arm. He's a terrible dancer with that foot, by the way. I kept tripping all over it. And yes, Yetis are also apparent in my life. A love triangle, Bigfoot, Yeti, Illuminati, Freemasons. Do you know what's in those cases? Cucumber sandwiches. Just a little insight. I'll be suing you soon. Conspiracies. Oh, Sheila Blade, conspiriologist, please go away. Leave me alone. We've got a show to get on with. Now, this is a lady who has been also a very, very big part of the Celine Salon from our live shows. Please let me introduce Wendy Young.
I had a dream of 3 golden crowns, not heads of state, but my teeth that dropped out. One by one they fell, in horror I held, as they seemed to weld into the mace, headed by pearly's cockle shells. Then meld into the hilt of a golden sword, to fight the guilt that should be ignored. Looking for treasure, it's right here, in my hands.
Thank you so much, Wendy Young. Really, really enjoyed that piece, and the video was very interesting, I must say. Now, we have a PayPal Me. That's right, a PayPal Me at Celine's Salon. If you look further down, there is a link where we would really appreciate any kind of donation which goes towards the production and future shows of Celine's Salon. So feel free, add a donation, and here at Celine's HQ, it would be very much appreciated. Now, we have some fresh blood. I like the fresh blood for the Celine Salon. I want to bite your neck. His name is Matt Francom.
A pair of pliers bend my front teeth further outwards each time I drift away. I have the strength and courage to dismantle my demons, but then fade to grey. You're my deepest desire, the unpluckable flower. Every night my limbs outstretch, yet you're still so unreachable. The fireworks, the bubbles, the spin away from all troubles. Just a whisper away, your essence rides the breeze. I reach for your coattails, but you elude me with ease. The promised land, the pinnacle, the otherwise unthinkable, what lies beyond the door for which I have bled. You're the apple, the peach, the stammer in my speech. I've searched for their bowers from which to hear the nightingale's song. I have tried, and I have failed. I awaken, nothing has changed, no progress has been made. If anything, I have regressed.
Well, Matt, what a beautiful piece, and well done. And please, please, please do come back. Thank you, Seki, for the heads up with Matt. And you're part of the family now, I'm afraid. So don't be afraid to submit another piece. Talking of which, if there's any of you, thinking I'd like to do something or try out a new poem, a short story, a monologue, a song, anything, please submit up to a 5-minute video piece to, we've got several links. We have Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Celine Salon. Preferably though, for the pieces you submit, do send them into Facebook at Celine Salon. So, one of my favourites, Douglas, we love you. Douglas Wilson has been with us for, about 2 years now, and it's lovely to see how much he has just progressed and gained more and more confidence and flourished as a poet writer. I'm also excited that we will be doing a future collaboration with English and South African artists. So watch this space where we will be promoting and inviting you to see what goes on in South Africa in the literary world. What more can I say? Here's Douglas Wilson.
A reading for Celine's Salon. Dream State 51. After millennia, I remember a simpler time when oxygen fed all of the earth and when all was free. Here, upon this planet, everything has spun out of control. The devolution of what had so much potential. There was a gritty beginning, lava and microbes, a sun, a vacuum, dinosaurs, fish with feet, and a glorious abundant energy, full of possibility. Everything accumulated into making me, me, and us, us. The plants, the sentience, the rivers, the forests, and the seas. I may not believe in religion, but I believe in the mystery of God, because of this perplexing, carbon-dated, earthly evidence. And God help us all as we try to understand as we desecrate what we have entered into within this complex and confounding solar system. I weep, and I hope for everything as I weep, trying to perceive myself and others, all others, and everything precious that makes this life what it seemingly is. This is all perhaps a dream or a nightmare, and I sense that we are far, far away from the magic that it could have been if we'd only perceived it correctly. Can we remember, as small as we have made this enormous reality within our ephemeral vanity, can we remember where we truly come from? Oh, the grandeur. I think we shrink because it's all too vast. The endless universe crying out for us to see. The stars, the vacuum, the transcendental, the organic state. And yet, we continue to destroy all of this timeless beauty so casually within a few decades, throwing brilliance out of sync. As happy as I should be after yet another short revolution around the sun with my irrelevant human life, I am not, because I realize that we all forgot what this is truly about. An unholy dereliction now seems to prevail, and if we don't awaken, it could echo throughout eternity, until we remember again what it means to be free.
Douglas, darling. I love your voice. I could listen to you all night. Darling, sweetie darlings. So, by the way, have you subscribed yet? I bloody well hope so. Well, we are coming to the end of our show. And doesn't it fly by when you're having fun and seeing so many talented people? Now, this lovely lady, Mieko, I met, she's a Soho lady in her own right, an extremely talented musician. Without further ado, please enjoy the lovely, beautiful voice and video of Mieko.
Tomorrow is a ghost, the past is a castle, buried in sand. I'm the spirit of a fish in a bubble, of nothing I'm afraid. When the red giant whispers, the sun goes out. The white dwarf kisses, the moon goes seas, the moon goes down.
Well, I don't know about you, but I thought that was a great second Celine Salon YouTube channel spectacular with our ongoing theme of dreams, which I think is quite apt at the moment because we all need dreams. It makes life a bit more, I want a dream. Dreams do come true if you really believe in them. So we come to the very end of our show. And again, I just want to say, please subscribe. And feel free to make a donation. That's it, right down there. PayPal at me, Celine Salon. Any amount will go a long way to further productions and helping keep Celine Salon up there on the map, so to speak. I also want to say a very, very special thank you to Dennis de Silva and Phil Spalding for our wonderful musical intro, and you're about to hear it again at the end of the show. These lovely talented men have donated their talents to help us make this show even more stunning, and I think they've done a fantastic job. Also, I'd like to thank Dave Crocker, who's also been an integral part in supporting us and with our lovely image of the Celine Salon at Jerry's Club, which is, I think, is great. It really sums up what the live shows are about, and hopefully we will see you at future live shows. Okay, so it's that time where we have to say thank you to all of our wonderful guests this evening. We've had Tom Turner, Sarah Janes, Heather Moulson, Seki Lynch, Wendy Young, Matt Francom, Douglas Wilson and Mieko. And I've been your host, Celine, and we'll see you next week. Oh, by the way, we would have done it yesterday, but I've had a bloody root canal, so it's been a bit difficult. So I'd like to know in the comments, do you prefer a Wednesday or a Thursday? Either way, we're going to keep the show going on a weekly basis. See you very soon. And don't forget, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Celine's Salon. Mwah!
Shifting your paradigm, shifting your paradigm. The lady on the scene, Celine Salon. The Salon de Celine, the lady on the scene. You know what I mean? The lady on the scene, Celine Salon. Celine Salon. Celine Salon. Celine Salon. Celine Salon. The lady on the scene.